All right, good night, everyone. That's the end of the podcast.
So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero.
Hey, welcome back to Unproductive Nerds, where normally I don't do the intro, so I don't know what to do here.
Yeah, Rhiannon's missing, so what else can we do?
Here, guys, I'm Rhiannon. I'll just do the intro.
Hey, Rhiannon, how are
Welcome to
you?
Unproductive Nerds. We're here. I'm the host of the podcast.
As
There's Jack and there's Aiden.
Oh wait, Jan's here. Hi, I'm Dan. I'm here also. Yep. Hey, it's me, John.
How's it going?
Hey, Rhiannon. Oh, it's good to see you, man.
Hey,
guys, it's me, Aiden. What's going on, guys? Hey, you want to talk about sports? Well, I don't know much, but I don't think Aiden sounds much like that. What are you talking about? This is exactly how I sound.
It doesn't sound like Dan would defend Aiden.
This is going to sound so shit.
I don't think that does sound like this, actually. It doesn't
Anyway,
The mic isn't going to pick up half of that as well, so it's just going to be incoherent rambling.
Voices like this.
as I'm sure you can guess by now, this is the Doctor Who episode. So
That was all our impressions of.
That was my Slitheen impression.
that was my Paul McGann.
Oh, yeah.
That was my Cyberman.
I went back and saw some clips from the Slitheen episode. They went way too over the top with the farting gag.
They went over the top.
It would have been way better if they didn't do the farting gag.
They were still
Was it
good
even a
villains,
gag?
though.
It was more like a plot.
No,
point.
It was a plot
No,
point.
there's like
got
a
a fart
4-minute
together
stretch where they're
this
just farting, and like one of the politician guys who isn't a Slitheen is going, "What is this?" And they're all just, like the Angela Merkel character is just laughing her ass off and just farting away. It's really weird.
But my favourite is...
Was she supposed to be Angela Merkel?
She looks exactly like Angela Merkel.
There's a real jarring part where they go from practical effects to the leads, which are just...
Oh, yeah.
So they go to the CGI when they're like
And they're running down the room.
yeah, when they're doing that like dive running like wolves on all fours, which actually looked kind of cool. And it's something we never see them do again. Like in all the Sarah Jane Adventures like episodes, the
There's orange ones.
they're called Blatherine. They're a different family of Raxagorico-Valipedorians. But it's every time we see Raxagorico-Valipedorians after that, they're running on just two legs and going "Rah!" like waving the arms out in the air like fucking Frankenstein. And that one time we see them running all fours, which is appropriate because they're hunters, it actually looked kind of cool, even if the CGI was bad.
Every single one of them has a beer belly. And their eyes are like tennis balls.
Also, their weakness is vinegar.
Yeah, they're the least well-adapted hunter I've ever seen in my life.
I feel like if you give me a brick, I think I could take one out.
Just throw in the eye, wham!
Well, you don't know what Raxagorico-Valipedorian is like. Maybe they're perfectly adapted for hunting there.
Maybe it's like the ship from Wall-E, where they're all just in like big chairs and stuff like that, floating around, getting milkshakes.
Which is why they have giant
What Doctor Who
claws.
needs is more Exorbiloff.
Absorbaloff.
Exorbiloff.
Oh, yeah.
No canon name has ever been given to that species. They're just from the planet
But
Crom.
But it's confirmed that they're like cousins of the Slitheen.
They're cousins in that they're from the same solar system.
Slitheen is a family name, right? It's not their species.
Yeah, it's like
right?
the Huts.
Yeah.
They're descendants of the Huspic Degenerate. But yeah, it's a family name. They're a crime family. They're space mafia.
Is that one guy, the Hospic Degenerate?
No, it's
like
no,
just
it's a
one
family.
guy, just like fucking.
He's got a beer belly. He's like, where do you think they get it? It's
No, it's like the Huts.
the degenerate.
It's like the Huts. It's not a species, it's a family.
Oh yeah, Doctor Who is back tonight, so that's why we're doing this episode.
Oh, is it back tonight?
Is it really?
I put this in the group chat. This is why we're doing Doctor Who, because it's premiering tonight. I think.
I don't even know if I'm going to watch it.
I think it's been long enough. I think I need to watch the Doctor Who episode again.
Yeah.
I watched the Christmas special and I realised I don't need to watch much more.
That was the first Doctor Who episode I ever consciously chose not to watch.
It's real. I love Doctor Who. I love superheroes. If they don't work well together.
That was such a like clearly just going, well, the Flash and Arrow are popular.
Yeah.
We have pretty similar demographics. Let's just do this.
Let's do Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know that this entire next series Doctor Who is still Moffat, right?
Yeah, this is his last series.
As well as Capaldi's,
Yeah.
which is a shame because it would have been great to have some Capaldi that wasn't written by Stephen Moffat.
Also, I watched the first 4 episodes of Capaldi, and I can't make out a thing he's saying for the first 2 episodes.
Really?
Like, I adapt to it. I get used to it. I acclimate to his voice. But for like the first 2 episodes, I'm like, the fuck is he saying? Like,
He's a bit of a mumble growler. A little bit.
he's like Vin Diesel mumble ground levels.
He's got a bit of a weird. He's like, Clara, my child.
That just makes him sound way creepier than he is. Clara, my child.
Sounds like
Forrest Whitaker from Rogue One. Oh, my child. Oh, golly.
Poor cunt. What? Nice.
Deception. Keep the dream alive.
Deceptions. Save the tree.
I think I even said this when we saw it. I think that it sounds more like a script from like a bad 80s basketball movie. Just save the dream. Like he's the coach, just trying to get.
No, he's the star player who injures his hamstring. As he's being told, save the dream.
And our plucky protagonist is finally brought on for the last 5 seconds of the game
before dying in a nuclear explosion.
He's gonna save that dream.
Okay, well, back to Doctor Who.
Back to Doctor Who.
So, specifically, what about Doctor Who are we talking about today? There's a lot of Who out there.
I think
we just go modern.
We just go best and worst episodes?
Yeah, sure.
I think Jack wanted to suggest this thing about how you would kill the Doctor, but the only correct answer is shoot him in the face, and then while he's regenerating, shoot him in the face again, and then he dies.
But you need to go super convoluted with it.
Even doesn't he? In the alternate universe, doesn't he?
And then it hits a gun.
You need at least 45 minutes worth of convoluted skills to kill the
In
Doctor.
the alternate universe, in Turn Left, he drowns, and then drowns again while he's... he doesn't even regenerate.
Yeah.
When they find him, he's still 10. He just died because he couldn't regenerate.
10 years old. He degenerated.
As in he was still the 10th Doctor. Real fans just refer to them by their number, like 9, 10,
Okay, so
11.
I'm not a dickhead,
we take
Yeah,
it.
you are.
Also, if you're a real fan, then 10 of 10.
For people who don't know, my
John
head is
wasn't
literally a
counting
penis. Just so you know.
Oh yeah, giant
Go
penis.
on.
Actually, John Hurt isn't counted as one of the Doctors. He's either referred to as the Warrior or the War Doctor, and he isn't given a number, so there.
He's like pie, I guess you could say.
What?
What did you do with the Hannibal Lecter noise? He's like pie.
Okay, but anyway, so I guess we take it. I don't think any of us are versed enough, besides John, since he knows everything about Doctor Who there is to know.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us are versed enough in old Doctor Who.
Yeah, no, I think we talk from
I'm not that. I've watched some of it.
I've seen the 5 Doctors.
I have one episode on DVD, and I can't remember what his name is. Something about resurrecting a Time Lord and put him in a fucking beast body or something. He's got a big crab claw or something.
Oh, I know that one. It's Mobius.
Mobius, yeah.
Yeah, the Claw of Mobius. That was a terrible episode.
Okay, well,
It's real bad.
so I think
It's a real bad
we started from Ecclestone, Ecclestein, and then we take it from there. We go Doctor by Doctor, best and worst episodes.
Yeah, sure.
Pilot's really bad, right?
I like it.
Can we just
I
establish that?
liked it.
I like Eccleston trying to wrestle with a hand. That's obviously there's nothing wrong.
But in terms of even other episodes in that season have better special effects
But
than
I'm
the
sorry.
weird plastic Mickey just talking to Pete.
Where's
Where's the Doctor, Rose? Where's the Doctor?
That's my favorite. It's actually
been attacked.
It's actually by far my favorite Doctor Who scene of all time. Is when Plastic Mickey just goes pizza when he's trying to learn English.
Okay, so yeah, no, I can't support that episode.
I liked it, and I just really like Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
that
when
was
he's
the-
threatening the
for
little
me,
face.
That's the thing. He's
Classic.
consistently good throughout all the bad and the good of.
But
that
for me,
season.
that was really one of the very, very few episodes before Rose got irritating.
You know,
Because
I never found her irritating.
After a certain point, she started getting really arrogant, and I just found her unlikable.
I felt that way with Donna.
That's what happens with all the assistants. There's always a certain point where the temporary assistant character they get for that episode, say the guy, he's like the explorer guy, but he's also your man from Sherlock. He's Lestrade from Sherlock. He's in like an episode with
He's playing
the
the
Pawns
hunter.
or something, and he's
Playing
the
the
hunter.
hunter.
And it's like dinosaurs on the spaceship, and he's there.
Yeah.
And he's looking at a dinosaur on the spaceship, and the Doctor's away, and it's the thing. The Doctor leaves the assistant, and then the assistant runs off, and then Pond is like, "Oh, let's run off and do this thing." Like, there's always a point where the assistant gets to that level of arrogant, where they're just like, "Let's run off and do this thing," because like the Doctor has impaired upon me weird, whimsical skills.
But no, what I didn't like about Rose is when she started getting all like, I'm the Doctor's favourite, and I killed the Dalek Emperor. Like that bit where she's arguing with Sarah Jane.
That's amazing.
I actually hated her in that scene because she was just being so bitchy throughout most of that episode.
I think that's the episode.
Is this the Krillstein episode?
Yeah.
It's a really good episode.
Yeah.
I think that's the episode I might have least seen of all the Tennant episodes.
Anthony Head's in it, man.
It's the school episode where they gotta the
using
chips are bad, so
The
they
opening-
gotta.
The chips and computers are bad for you.
The
to go
opening
outside.
scene is Anthony Head devouring an orphan alive. It's a brilliant episode.
Alright, well,
Back to Eccleston.
back to Eccleston.
Beckelston.
Straight away, I'm saying For worst, I really don't like it's the end of the world episode.
Oh, what?
That's a really good episode.
like that
World episode. What happens in it again?
Face of
It's a big-
It's not great.
that is
Like
real
coming
good.
off a weak pilot, it's not a good starting point.
No, I think weakest one is they're in like the 16th century and they're in a morgue.
I kind
I've never seen
Charles
that episode.
Charles
Really?
Dickens with
I've never
Charles
seen it.
Dickens with the ghosts of
It's
Christmas.
got Gwen from
It's the Unquiet Dead.
Torchwood.
It's her ancestor.
playing her ancestor. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually make that like canon. She mentions like there's a bit where
She brings up Bad Wolf.
in the crossover episode the Doctor recognizes Gwen, and they have like a thing. Hey, I think I knew your like great grandmother or something.
Yeah.
And they in the Eccleston episode with the Slovene, the Doctor they have examining the space pig is Tosh. And like they even have in one of the first episode, the Asian one, in one of the first episodes of Torchwood, they actually mentioned Tosh is one of the only members of Torchwood, apart from Jack, to have met the Doctor because she was working undercover when the space pig died.
What's the best Eccleston episode?
Dalek.
Empty Dalek.
Okay.
It's Dalek.
Dalek is
It is
fantastic.
Dalek.
I think Dalek might
Empty
be,
Child's a good second, but
Dalek might be my favourite Doctor Who episode. It used to be Silence in the Library, but rewatching Dalek,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Dalek
Dalek
is
is
just-
spectacular.
Why? What's your argument for Gas Mask Kid, Dan?
I haven't seen it in a while, so I actually don't know. But
The Doctor Dances, not Empty Child, but the Doctor Dances is just really
They're
uplifting.
Empty
both
Child-
really good.
They're
Like, it's an actual
fantastic.
Yeah.
mystery. Like it's
yeah.
really good.
I love it when Doctor Who does horror, and those Gas Mask children are fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
and the gas mask comes out of their mouth.
That is like proper
That transformation
Doctor Who
sequence
horror.
gave me proper nightmares.
Yeah.
Like it was
It's creepy as
too
shit.
much. It was
Is
too
that
much
the
for a kid
creepiest
show.
episode of that season?
I actually
that
think
season.
I mean,
Yeah, easily.
by far.
Yeah.
I actually thought that was way too much for a kids show. Like the bit where when he turns into the gas man, his eyes turn into glass,
Yeah.
and like he vomits out the. It was too much. I didn't like that. But-
Even like that had a great because Doctor Who, especially when they do the intro and then they do the main episode, they have a history of building up like fake tension.
Yeah.
Like they have the Ood episode where all the Ood come out and they've got the translators and they're like,
Yeah.
"We're gonna, feed you," and then he
then
goes, "Feed you tea." We're servants to you or whatever. But that has a great like that episode ends with the first Casper's episode ends with they all get up from the chair and they all surround him. And then the
The next episode just starts with them running away.
Yeah.
the second episode starts with Eccleston says, "Go to your room," because
Oh,
he
yeah,
pretends
he
to be their
realised
mom,
it, yeah.
and that's a great.
Oh yeah, sorry, I thought you were still in the Ood episode. Which, by the way, I'm pretty sure the Impossible Planet ends with them just surrounded by Ood, and the Satan Pit just starts with them running away from them. But you're right, the Empty Child episode, Empty Child ends with them surrounded by gas mask people going, "Mummy, mummy," and Doctor Dances just starts with him saying, "Go to your room," and they do.
And he even has the line that's like, "God, those would have been terrible last words. Thank God that worked."
You know what episode is really understated, and I don't think people talk enough about it? The one where we see Rose's dad die. And it deals
Father's
with
Day.
and
Yeah.
it deals with the idea of a paradox.
And we never see the Reapers again.
I was
Yeah.
so angry at that. I think I've raised this point before. The Reapers are such an interesting concept, and they're never brought up
They should
again.
have come up in the 50th anniversary.
They should have come
when
up with-
Tennant met Matt Smith.
Yeah.
It would have been if like a Reaper came flying out.
Yeah, it would have been better than Zygon Rabbit.
A Reaper and a Fez.
The Reapers look rough. CGI was though, right?
They look pretty good. I like them.
Like for that level of Who, it was fine. They're better than the Slovene that look like wolves.
Yeah.
I like the giant mouth they had in their chest, and they
They
kill
look
you by
like-
they kill you by hugging you and then eating you into their
like
chest.
flying vaginas, or am I remembering that?
I can't.
I remember them looking like some creatures from like Ratchet and Clank. Like they just
That's
like,
actually fairly accurate.
Yeah.
They look like giant leathery bat monsters with mouths in their chests.
Okay, so I guess
Yeah, fucking I love that episode.
It's a great episode. It brought me to tears. The ending,
Same.
Like
when he
Pete
gives himself up.
when Pete goes out to like when he says goodbye to Rose and starts like walking towards the car. I burst out crying. I couldn't. It was so good.
that never happens to me and Aiden because we're emotionless robots. But
I think
We have
I,
a history of
I,
reports
I
on the
came
show, so it's
pretty
fine.
close. I think when I last saw Dalek, that's like
when
When
the
it-
Dalek,
when it-
the sun-
the Dalek says
Ordered
like
me to kill myself.
yeah, emotions are horrible. I want to die, and he kills himself. Like that is.
But he can't do it
empathize
himself.
with that,
He has
correct?
to get. He starts talking to Rose and he's saying, "Order me to kill myself. I can't do it myself. I need a superior to order me to self-destruct." And she can't do it because
But doesn't the Doctor like earlier on in that episode tell him to kill himself?
Yeah, but he doesn't see the Doctor as a superior. As much
he sees
as
the
an enemy.
Doctor as an enemy. Yeah,
And
why
you know-
don't you just die?
And
They
he's like, "You would make a good Dalek."
Yeah.
they set up a great premise of like that episode perfectly encapsulates what the Daleks should be in the show, and then they're not. Like they go into David Tennant, and they, like when they fight the Cybermen, 3 Daleks versus the Cybermen army, that's exactly what they should be. But then it gets into like the Dalek army, and they just get killed all at the same time.
It's conservation of ninjutsu. The more ninjas you have, the less effective they are.
Yeah.
But I do think on the episode with the game station they did a really good job with the Daleks, because they only had 3 Dalek props, so they could only show 3 like actual Daleks on screen at any one time. But that bit where they're going through the game station and they spend all of the long game setting up all these characters, the guys in the net, and then they just start slaughtering them during Parting of the Ways.
There's a real effective scene in that actually, where the big brother girl is locked in a
Linda.
room.
Oh yeah.
And you just see
I'll come back for you.
A Dalek floats up in front of the glass screen, and you just see it's like the lights on its head.
Last time.
The lights on its head flash, like flash.
Even,
so you can just, it's like it's mouthing exterminate without a mouth, and then it blows up the glass and she dies.
Like jumping ahead of it, like that's a great ultimatum at the end of that episode when the Doctor has to choose between like blowing up all the Daleks, and then Jack comes down and tells him the radius will destroy
half of it.
The nearest planet or whatever. Like that's a great ultimatum that he has to face to choose what he's going to do.
Because it's the ultimatum he's already faced. It's the one with the Gallifrey thing. And it's like he's going to have to relive that twice if he goes with the other option.
That, I never even thought of that. It's exactly the same choice he made at the end of the Time War. And it's also fairly similar to the choice he had to face, like the 4th Doctor, an episode called Genesis of the Daleks. There's a future where the Daleks win and exterminate all life in the universe, presumably with the reality bomb, actually. So Time Lord High Command sends Tom Baker back in time to prevent the birth of the Daleks by assassinating Davros, and he can't go through with it.
We see that again in Capaldi's episode, where he could have just left.
When he could have killed Davros as a child.
He doesn't even. It's not even he could kill. He could just not save him.
Yeah,
it's the Batman thing. He's like, don't have to save you, not killing you.
When Davros ran into a foul minefield as a child, and there was those weird hand bombs. It's like that was weird.
Anyway, Eccleston back
to Eccleston. Sorry.
We got any more Eccleston episodes?
I think we're. See, there's
the Satellite 5 one with Simon Pegg.
Yeah, that's a really good episode. I love that episode.
But that guy has that thing in his head where every time he clicks his fingers, it just opens.
His mom clicks his fingers. It's the mighty Jaggerfest of the Holy Hadrojasic Maxafortenfoe. That's what the
and
giant
it's just a big
called.
pimple hanging from the ceiling.
Teeth. Why do I remember this stuff? I haven't watched that episode in like 5 years.
Alright, so I mean, I think Dalek is the best episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we give Eccleston out of? What is it, 12 Doctor?
10.
We'll do him out of 13, is it now?
What would we give him out of 13?
We'll just do it out of 10, right? Keep it easy.
I just remembered that.
The mighty Jaggerfar of the Holy
Hadrojasic Maxim.
Sorry,
the mighty Jaggerfest of the Holy Hadrojasic Maxafortenfoe. I remembered that after like 6 years.
So what do we give him out of 10?
He's getting 10. He's my favourite.
You got all the 10.
Yeah, you gotta give him 10.
I'd say 9 just because I'm stingy with ratings. But yeah, if you guys are going to
or because he's the 9th Doctor.
Yeah,
you've
said that.
They've all been good, though. I mean, the only one I think we could dock is probably Matt Smith, but not by much.
I feel like it's not his fault, but I feel like you'd have to dock Capaldi just because those episodes aren't great.
Yeah.
Even Matt Smith's
I don't think we're actually ranking the actors. We're ranking the characterization.
Yeah.
And the characterization is poor.
I think it's 10 for Eccleston. That's probably the best iteration of the Doctor.
Okay.
I think so.
As in terms of like what his characters should and shouldn't be.
Maybe the rating doesn't work. Maybe we should just rank them.
So you can't rank them.
I think you can rank them.
I mean, I know how I would rank them, but
so do I.
I wouldn't want to.
Alright, so
Eccleston's on top at the moment.
Moving on to Tenet, there's a lot of material here, guys. There's a lot of
3
stuff
hours. Here we go.
First episode.
Worst episode of the Tenet era.
Oh, good question.
That is actually a tough one. He had a few shitty ones.
What about that one where it's like a guy who's stalking the Doctor?
Oh, you know what?
He joins this club of people
Linda.
who are also
Oh,
insane.
that's the example.
It's Love and Monsters.
I love that episode. I don't care what anyone says. I really like that.
It's good, but
It's not the best of all those episodes.
No, you have to say it's good, but it's also fairly shit.
Yeah, there's some stupid parts to it. And
What's that thing at the end when his girlfriend's head is just a concrete slab of the face?
That's
And he mentions
really weird.
he mentions that they still have a love life.
Yeah.
So he's just like fucking a concrete slab, and she's okay with it. That's really
Doesn't
weird.
the absorbing thing absorb like all of his friends? And at one stage, one of their faces is
on
just his ass.
Yeah.
That's a bad deal.
They don't even show it. They just like have him say, I have a really bad spot from like behind him, and everyone's like, "Sorry, bud."
Oh, but, okay, so
Yeah, I think
it's definitely not the worst one though.
the Shakespeare one is pretty bad.
I like that one.
Yeah,
That
I
is
agree.
pretty bad.
I like that.
That's a weak episode.
What about the fat one?
What?
The one with the fat.
That's a really good episode. That's a charming episode.
Yeah.
Mostly because of Donna, but I thought, what's her friend, Madame Foster? I thought she was a really good villain.
Yeah,
Or Miss Foster.
I needed that after Martha left.
Also, it was a
Like
great
that.
excuse to sell adipose merch.
Yeah, exactly.
Just sell cuddly toys at the adipose.
That was a great episode.
Okay, what are we classifying as the bad episodes? Because
I don't know.
I think that's
I'm
not,
gonna get
that's not
Netflix up and scroll through the episodes.
I don't think that's a great episode, but I think
It's fun.
I don't
It's
I don't have a
lighthearted.
problem with it.
Okay, what about?
Completely unrelated. When they go to New York, the one that's like 15 News,
Gridlock?
and
Wait, do you mean Gridlock
That's
or the
really
one in the
good.
hospital?
yeah,
the one in the hospital,
Yeah,
and the one where Cassandra takes
Newark.
over Rose's body.
That's New Earth.
Yeah, that was a major sexual awakening for me. I feel
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh boy, yeah.
because man,
It was
Rose-
just Billy Piper acting really like flirty.
yeah.
I've never seen that episode.
Oh
I have,
man,
but I
Dan.
was like
if
maybe 8 or 10.
10-year-old you saw that, geez, Stan.
Like there's a bit where she possesses the doctor and then says, "Oh, I'm a man. There's so much new equipment." And then she very pointedly looks at Rose and says, "And so underused." That was just weird.
Cassandra's the trampoline one, yeah?
Cassandra is the trampoline one.
Okay,
It gains the ability to possess people, and it's used appropriately, I would say.
Tooth and Claw. The
I
one
know
where
I
he
love that
finds a
episode.
werewolf.
I love that episode so
I'm just
much.
As
looking
do I.
at it.
As do I.
Like
And
that
that's
is
the first time we hear Torchwood.
Yeah. Well, not the first time. They mentioned it
She
one time in
established-
episode
That's
one.
It's
where
just
they
a classic
establish it.
monster Doctor Who episode, and I love it.
Yeah, like
it's
they
a-
mentioned Torchwood a shit ton of times, but that's the first one that explains where Torchwood came from.
It's not a bullshit Capaldi episode where it's like a really odd, convoluted monster. They're werewolves.
It's just a werewolf.
It's just a werewolf.
They give an explanation for it being like
it is an alien.
an alien parasite that makes a body out of moonlight. But they basically gloss over that to get to the cult of Scottish monks that worship a wolf and have. Oh my god!
The
it's
Idiot's
such a good
Lantern? I'm scrolling through this season.
That's a freaky episode, so I can't call it the worst.
Do you remember?
Which
do you
one's
remember?
Mr. Magpie, where she takes people's faces off. She's in the
I
TV.
really like that. The Idiot's Lantern. I really love that episode.
It's creepy as hell.
You know what doesn't work in that if you rewatch it though? The bit at the end where she's going, "Feed me, feed me," and it's the weirdest. Like, oh, you can't go back to that. I feel.
I know. I love that episode. I don't think I
I
dislike
like the kind of premise of like taking people's faces and they're all just these weird blank models, but.
Okay, I'm scrolling through season 2. I can't find a bad one here. One sec, we'll hop to season 3.
Yeah, I feel like there's got to
There's got to be a bad Martha episode. There has to have been a bad Martha.
What about the Runaway Bride? What do we think of that?
Great
stuff.
Great episode.
It's great, right?
Great episode.
Where he just like
The
robs an
comic-
ATM at one stage.
And then
Yes.
the TARDIS jump. She's in a car, and they're like the pilot fish are kidnapping her.
Yeah,
She's jumping into the TARDIS.
the car chase when he's flying the TARDIS
It's
along a
awesome.
motorway to chase a taxi, or the bit where it turns out that her fiance was working for the spider monster the entire time, and she feeds
I
him
feel
to her
Abrams
children.
on something with the Shakespeare code.
yeah,
Because
Shakespearean code here.
the second one is Smith and Jones, which I love.
Oh,
That's
great.
about-
That's
the
Die
Jejune-
Hard with rhinos and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, that's a great.
The Jejune are so underused. Jejune upon
The Judoon. Do you know the reason they're called the Judoon? Is because it's really hard for David Tennant to make ooh noises without going to a Scottish accent, so they made him say, they made up the platoon of Judoon upon the moon, so he had to say that without breaking accent.
What do they work for again? The Shadow Proclamation.
Shadow Proclamation.
But
Which
they're
is
actually...
dropped after season 5.
The
for
Jejune-
some
They're
goddamn
awesome,
reason.
though.
I love it's weird
They're
how
like
much
Robocops.
time they spend establishing the Shadow Proclamation, talking about them, mentioning. It's not like they're
Rose
not
even
even
used it to
foreshadowing
friend
them.
at one stage.
They don't even foreshadow them. They're just mentioned as intergalactic law, and then they're never brought up again
Which
after
how
they appear
weird
on
is
stage.
it? In season 4, when you have that big crossover episode, they go to the Shadow Proclamation.
Yeah,
and it's insane.
and it's just a bunch of weird albino women, and that you're doing.
Gridlock. I can't remember a lot about Gridlock.
I don't like
That's
Gridlock that
Gridlock
it's
is
Return
That's big space cats,
It's
isn't it?
Return of Cat People.
It's Ardlo Hanlon. Ardlo Hanlon is a cat person.
Yeah. Are you
serious?
Yeah.
Ardlo Hanlon is the cat person. It's such a good episode.
I can't hate that episode, man.
And that's the death of the face above.
Yeah,
That's really good.
and it's really well done.
Darwick's in Manhattan.
And you know what?
I like that.
Here comes the point of contention, because I love that two-parter.
Do you know the way Tennant gets out of being hit by lightning?
Yeah.
Because he passes it through.
It's Daleks in Manhattan,
Hey,
and then
all
the
right,
evolution of Daleks.
Do you guys know who played the little plucky New York boy in Daleks?
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
Why?
Andrew Garfield was the plucky little New York boy who gets eaten by pig people at the second part.
That's
Whoa.
amazing.
They set up so much weird shit in that episode, though. It's like Pigman and Human Dalek Man and
a half pig man who wasn't full pig man yet.
I think I found the
Laszlo.
worst episode. The Lazarus Experiment.
That's such a good
It's
episode.
great until you get to the CGI monster at the end. That's just full.
someone
It's
just
just
notable
Scorpion.
plays Dr. Lazarus.
Mark Gatiss.
Mark Gatiss,
Good.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Mark Gatiss is really good. That bit at the end when he's talking about when he was a child during the Blitz, listening to the bombs fall, and it gave him a sense of his own mortality. And then the doctor starts telling that to me, well, some people live more in 20 years than others live in 80. That scene gives me chills every time. And Lazarus is such a good villain.
42.
42 is such a great episode.
I like any episode
Burn
where
with me, red gas mask.
Oh fuck, that's a great episode. And then when he's staring at the sun, the
you think
plot
he's gonna
twist.
regenerate?
The plot twist is that the sun is alive.
Yeah.
When he's like, you should have checked for life. You should have scanned for life. And the sun is like a space whale.
And you know what? Before we get on to the next episode, because we're going to have a lot to talk about that, backtracking to the Satan Pit one back in season 1.
Oh boy.
That was fucking great. Like,
It really
I wish they brought Satan back as a character.
I think that he should have been a recurring villain.
And
Just
yeah.
the Christian devil.
there's an amazing. No, it's not even the Christian devil.
It's every devil.
There's a great throwaway line. He's like, "Wait, what devil are you?" There's 101 religions. They've all got their own version of the devil. He's like, "I am all of them."
And he starts listing off religions.
Yeah.
And you know
listing
what?
off titles.
Something that I think the new episodes miss a lot, great use of music in that episode.
Oh,
when it's
yeah.
like, what's her name, just like floating out in space, and they find her dead body just
Scooter.
like floating out in front
Her
of
name was Scoop.
Yeah.
Brutal. Who
And
was
she
not
was like
brutal enough?
23 or
Yeah.
something. They make a point of how young she was, and she's just
And also,
floating.
was there like weird Kubrick vibes?
Yeah, there
That
was.
episode where he's in the space and he's going down into the pit and it's just blackness. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously like because of low budget, but it looks really unsettling.
It is creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Right about human nature, where the doctor has
That
to
is one of the
That's
best episodes.
fucking fantastic.
It is, isn't it?
That is like top 10, definitely.
It is. I
It's
love
such
that.
a different vibe as well because
Yeah.
you're in this old mansion and it feels like they switched up the entire style of the show to
Yeah.
film it. It's so...
What's that show? The fancy British one with
Downton
Downton
Abbey.
Abbey.
It feels like Downton Abbey.
No, there's that love
the
story,
doctor.
and he falls in love with what's her face, Joan Redfern, and what's it? Martha's so sad.
Yeah, but I love the idea that we're in on the fact we all know he's the doctor. Everybody's in on it except him. And it's fucking sad as hell where he's got to turn back.
There's some great like practical horror stuff as well. The scarecrows just
Those are
wander
I wish they
around.
used that more.
I know.
Scarecrows were actually terrifying.
And he actually reaches inside one and pulls out just loads of hay, and he's like, you know,
Okay,
fucking deal with this.
I think I found one of the best episodes of this season.
Wait, I need to cut you off there. Remember that scene in Family of Blood where all of those like children have to set up the machine guns and the rifles and they're shooting,
Yeah, that's
and they're all crying, and they're
Yeah.
like, the school anthem is playing. They're all singing the school anthem, and they're all crying because they think
that's
they're killing
amazing.
people.
Yeah.
and then the music stops, and it's
they-
just like it's like a 2-minute long scene of them just shooting the scarecrows and like hay going everywhere, and they
Get
think,
back
oh,
up.
and then one of the guys comes over and says, they're just scarecrows. It's just hay, and they all just breathe audible sighs of relief that they haven't murdered anyone, and then the scarecrows get back up.
That's
Oh,
fucking
Jesus Christ, man.
amazing.
Also-
Oh! In Tennant's last episode, when Joan Redfern's
we'll get to it,
when
we'll
her
get to it.
granddaughter shows up at the book signing,
Oh,
what's her
yeah.
face? And he's like, was she happy in the end? Oh, man. I love Doctor Who.
Okay, I've got it. Blink. The introduction of one of the greatest Doctor Who villains that then went to shit.
Yeah.
I think it's slightly overrated, just a bit.
I like Blink.
Yeah.
But I don't
I've
love
only
Blink.
ever seen it once, so I haven't.
Carrie
watched
Mulligan
it.
is great.
Yeah. The thing is, like, when I watch Doctor Who, I do watch it for the Doctor. Which is why I just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not...
That's why Love and Monsters doesn't work for me. I find that really fucking boring. Because he only turns up for like 5, maybe 2 minutes.
It's really jarring when they take away the Doctor out of an episode.
Yeah.
And I know it's kind of sad that they can't like switch up the formula, but it is legitimately hurting the quality of the show. Except they did it kind of right in Blink. And I mean, that's hailed as the best episode, but I don't think it should be.
What I like about Blink is that it had this incredibly fresh and original atmosphere to it.
Yeah.
Like the writing and the dialogue, it didn't feel like Doctor Who. It felt fresh. It felt
once again like they have great kind of horror themes to it. I think Who thrives when it's doing proper horror, and that's something that you'll see in Stephen Moffat just kind of falls apart.
It's actually hilarious how much they butcher the concept of weeping angels.
Yeah.
It's so quick the second time they appear.
Well, you know what? I think that still holds up. I think the Matt Smith one where they turn up still works.
After that.
But I think they introduced some concepts that they really shouldn't have. Like stuff
seeing the move.
Seeing the move is a terrible idea.
That killed them
why
forever.
they did it.
Killed them forever for me. I was never scared of them again after I saw
We'll get
it.
to that when we get to Matt Smith. But, and I really want to hear your thoughts on this. Utopia, The Sound of Drums, and The Last of the Time.
They're fucking amazing. They're so
This season was the March season was probably the best season of Doctor Who.
Sound of Drums.
You see, I haven't thought about it.
I actually thought this was a weak season when we started talking about it, but no,
it's only the Shakespeare Code that's kind of
and by far, Sound of Drums is my favourite episode of Doctor Who. It has to be said.
Even when they're on the run, running.
because they start off, and it's right after basically Yana fucks them. No TARDIS, no nothing, and they're just back on Earth. And he has the phone call with Saxon, and Saxon's like, "Guess you better run." And it's like, "What are we gonna do?" Yeah,
that reveal of the Master coming back was fucking amazing. Though.
I love how much they dialed up the whole, like, the fact that the Doctor and the Master are totally in a relationship. Like, how much they played with that in those episodes. Yeah. Like, that bit where they first talk in the phone, and the Master, like, reverently goes, "Doctor," and the Doctor goes... like really reluctantly goes, "Master," and the Master like rolls his eyes back and goes, "Oh, I love it when you say," like he orgasms. He goes, "I love it when you say my name." But like it's like phone sex. Like the Master is treating that conversation like it's phone sex, and the Doctor just looks really grossed
The
out by it.
Master might be my favorite Doctor Who villain. Because fuck, he's awesome.
John Sims, Master.
Yeah, I think
even Missy, I kind of like Missy, not as much as Johnson.
You can tell
her plan is so stupid when she turns out.
But I mean, you can. The thing is, Missy would be great if Moffat wasn't writing her, because you can feel the Moffat over the top.
You feel Moffat the minute she's like, "Hey, Missy, you're so fine." I'm like, I like that. I laughed at her. I'm like, "Fucking hell." Why?
I actually hated that. I cringed.
But the thing is, I mean, the Master always does. Like, even he's like, "Start the drums," and like when he calls out the tug,
that's a fucking man.
And they he just as a dance party, well, they kill 1/10 of the population of Earth.
I think that was
playing. What's that?
Here comes the drums.
They're playing Voodoo Child. The song is called Voodoo Child by something, but yeah, they start playing Voodoo Child, and he's just dancing with his wife while the decimation happens.
That was like the first time I'd ever seen that use of like pop music played over like a contrasting mood, and it was amazing. I love that.
I can understand that.
And also, that's a 3-part episode, but they're set in completely different times every...
one alternate future... One novel
I don't think you can count Utopia. I think you call that a 2-part. I don't think you count Utopia as part of it.
I think it's officially counted as a 3-part.
Yeah, you call... I'd say the last 5 minutes you count.
Because it's all...
Utopia is a different storyline to...
No, but it carries over in the third one.
Utopia turns out to directly affect...
the Tog thing, yeah. I was like, okay, I
guess. Plus, all 3 episodes have... the Doctor, Martha, and Jack.
Can we talk about how great it is to have Captain Jack back?
Captain Jack is my crack.
Oh, he's the fucking... John Barrowman is just so damn...
Now just sit back and watch Moffat butcher.
Hey,
guys, you don't like... having Johnson back, great. Having John Barrowman back, great. But Moffat's gonna fuck him up.
He's gonna turn Captain Jack into, like, a stereotype.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think he could do Jack pretty well. Because he does these characters who are just in love with themselves. Which Jack is. Jack is the one who like walks in there like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I got an electric guitar and all these things on my wrist.
Moffat was the writer who made things really overtly sexual in a lot of ways. So he might do Jack well. Like, creepily sexual.
Aren't they bringing on the Broadchurch people after the Moffat?
It's the Broadchurch writer who's taken over as the showrunner.
I cannot wait for that.
I cannot wait. But like,
I'm just so happy that Moffat's
leaving. The thing with Jack is, I felt they always played his sexuality perfectly. Like, because Yeah, no, it's really... I mean, I didn't pick up on the fact at all that he was bisexual when I was younger.
Omnisexual.
Same.
Omnisexual.
No, the second time he came back, I was like, wait a minute, where was he hiding that gun?
Honey, you really don't want to know.
Great.
I mean, even in his first appearance, he flirts with Rose
Yeah,
and an airman and a doctor.
And he's like looking at Rose's ass for the knocker. And then the soldier's like, what are you doing? So he's like, what, are you jealous? It's like...
Or at one stage in Utopia, they're walking through the hallway, and he sees like these starving people, they're like dying of radiation. He's like, well, hello there, Captain Jack Hart, it's nice to meet you. He's like, no, not now, come on, come on.
He says hi to Martha, and then the doctor's like, stop, and he's like, what? I'm just saying hi.
And Martha goes, I really don't mind. As does every character he ever says that to.
Fuck, that guy's awesome.
I fucking love him. And that one line at the very end, he's like, I don't know what I'll do next. They said I could be an actor or something like that. Back home, they used to call me like the face of Bo. I'm like, oh shit.
I remember that.
Jack turns out to be the face of Bo.
Yeah, he's like, I could be a model or something. They said I was the face of Bo.
Because he was from a place called the Beauchene Peninsula, so he was the poster boy of the Beauchene Peninsula, and a newspaper or something called him the face of Bo.
You know what, actually, complete sidetrack. There's that episode of Torchwood where there's a guy who infiltrates Torchwood and he can put memories in other people. And he goes back into one of Jack's memories to save himself. He says, look, this is something Jack's long forgotten about him and his brother and his dad. And he says, I'll give you this memory back if you let me stay. And then Jack wipes his memory. So he never remembers any of that. And he doesn't remember Adam at all, and it's pretty great.
And he makes
his brother's called Gray, isn't he?
Yeah.
He makes one of the lads there think he's like a serial killer or like a rapist.
He makes Yanto think he's a serial rapist.
Wow.
It's Torchwood went crazy.
Wait, are these just the parasites from Rick and Morty?
It's Mr. Poopy Butthole. But no, sorry, not Mr. Poopy Butthole.
It's Pencil Bester.
And Sleepy Jeff.
Exactly, except
Sleepy Gary.
They're way more disturbing. And he makes Gwen think that she's Adam's boyfriend or something. Adam is the name of the alien.
Yeah.
Or something like
that.
No,
that is a creepy episode because you're just watching it's like, how are they even going to get out of this? Everybody is just...
What's great about that episode is it opens with... Adam just does it like... They make Adam Mr. Poopy Butthole. He just shows up like, hey, it's me, Adam, I'm the main character.
He's even in the title credits. It's one shot of him just there, and I'm like, what the fuck?
That was really...
that's
really well done.
I really need to watch Torchwood at some stage.
It's pretty good. It's R-rated Doctor Who, and it's surprisingly good.
I've seen the episode where there's like that parasite alien thing that fucks you and you die.
Yeah, and Jack makes that immortal line. He's looking at the security footage of the guy getting disintegrated after having sex with this one. He's like, looks like he came and went.
At which point he put on sunglasses and it just went, yeah!
But no, I do love when Torchwood show up in like the black van and they're like hop out of it. That's great.
I love in season 2 of at the end of season 1 of Torchwood sort of goes public, or kind of, and then at the beginning of season 2 episode 1 opens with Torchwood like chasing an alien down the middle of the street, and all of the people in London are just watching the van fly past as the theme music goes, and they're just going, fucking Torchwood, man. They're all just pissed off.
We're only 35 minutes in, and we've gone through like 3 seasons.
You know what? I gotta go, guys. But last thing I'll say, because I got a lot to talk about the Donna season and Matt Smith stuff. But I'll just say, best Peter Capaldi episode, the bit where he's punching the wall for 1 billion years, is fucking great.
I love that episode. Yeah.
Anyway.
And you know what? One setting. They didn't blow up the universe and say, look at all these places he's going to travel all across the universe. One setting.
If you take away his TARDIS and you give him a viable threat, it's so much better.
That's what one setting is.
See you.
See you guys next week.
I'll never come back.
And we never saw them again.
Hey John, I'll leave the camera in the case there for you, but I'm taking an card out.
Okay, thanks. Well, then Jack and John came to a quiet realization.
There was one who barely remembered Doctor Who and one who kind of remembers too much of Doctor Who.
Far too much of Doctor Who.
Let's see where we go from here.
Without either of the straight men to play off of, we're really not that entertaining to listen to.
We're really not.
Yeah.
So we're going to faff around for the next half an hour to 40 minutes and call it a day.
I think that's a good idea.
That sound like a good idea?
How's this sound? Name episodes and I'll talk about them. And you can too, but there's really not much to talk about if it's just the two of us.
It's gonna be weird.
You can basically stop listening now if you want to.
Yeah, this is like the pitches part of the Justice League episode. Dan and Aiden are gone, so give up. All right, Voyage of the Damned.
It's fine. You got the little red guy, Banacafalata. He's kind of Banacafalata, cyborg. He's kind of annoying, but he's also kind of sweet. And you've got the main villain is head in a weird red go-kart who wants to blow up Earth. He's basically Lex Luthor. I'm pretty sure he wants to blow up Earth to fake his own. No, not to fake his own death.
It's like an insurance crime, isn't it?
He's already faked his death, but yeah, it's an insurance fraud thing where he wants to crash the Titanic into Earth and then bank on the insurance money or something.
Which we find out doesn't work, because in the alternate episode where Donna doesn't help the Doctor, that ship hits the Earth and it has no effect. It blows up London, I think.
Yeah, it just nukes London.
Yeah, that's all that happens. There is that really sad moment where your one reveals to her husband, yeah, we didn't just win this show prize because... Oh, I took a picture for some reason. We didn't just win this show prize because I put in one ticket. I spent all our money on the luxury cruise.
Yeah. And then she's just really happy.
Who plays his companion in that again?
It is a famous singer and actress, Kylie Minogue.
Kylie Minogue, there we go.
Who is perfectly nominal.
I really like her in that.
She was fine. Yeah. But no, the best thing about that episode is that it introduced us to Wilf, aka Bernard Cribbins.
Oh, he's so good.
I was bibbing for some Cribbins.
Oh, you can't beat some Cribbins.
Alright,
Partners in Crime. The Adipose episode. We mentioned it earlier.
I don't know what they were talking about, man. I love that episode.
It's fucking amazing. I love the reveal. There's these tiny little fat creatures.
Like it's a welcome breather after like the incredibly heavy Last of the Time Lords is like soul crushingly heavy.
What's the last thing he says to him? It's something like, I'm going to tell you the two.
No, sorry, not Last of the Time Lords. What was? Oh yes, it is Last Time. So it is Last.
I'm going to tell you the one thing you've never wanted to hear, or the one thing that would defeat you.
I forgive you.
Fuck, that's an amazing reveal.
Do you know the cool thing is that's actually a flashback to an old, or a callback to an old episode. In an old episode of Doctor Who, they're fighting this AI who shows people their worst fears, and it's shown that the Master's worst fear is the Doctor towering over him. And then we have that bit where the Doctor is literally floating over him, and the Master has a breakdown. He's terrified because we've been shown we've known for decades that's his worst fear, and that was really cool.
This episode also brings back Martha, the Partners in Crime. I'm going to take you off for a second here. Not Donna. Yeah. Do you like Donna?
I like Donna.
I liked her from the start, but she becomes kind of grating after a while.
I actually preferred her to Rose.
No, I preferred Rose, but that's because she was the first companion I ever watched.
Yeah.
I had nothing to compare it to.
No, I lost patience with Rose after a while. She just got really annoying. But she was better when she came back as an action hero kind of character.
I liked Rose because she showed a version of the Doctor who's in love, who's actually happy for a change.
I really liked how Donna and the Doctor had zero romantic chemistry between them.
Wait. Dan is on the outside. Are you returning, Dan?
I'm returning for I don't know how long, but...
Oh, thank God we got the funny one back. Listeners, come back. We're just up to Partners in Crime.
Partners in Crime is a good episode.
Is that the fat episode?
That's the fat episode.
It's a good episode. It's a good episode.
Alright, Capaldi's first episode, Fires of Pompeii.
Oh, yeah.
He's in that.
And and it's made canon that the reason the 12th Doctor chose that face is because it was to remind him to be merciful or something.
Yeah, but why was Amy Pond there for some reason?
Side note, was she?
Yeah. Who's the actress?
She was one of the
makeup.
Yeah, the makeup girls.
Yeah, Karen Gillan's.
She was one of the sisters of the Sibylline Order.
Yeah.
Fun fact, in in Children of Earth, Torchwood Children of Earth.
This ain't the Torchwood podcast, John.
I know.
Welcome back to Torchcast.
I said fun fact. Peter Capaldi plays a government official called John Frobisher, who has an incredibly depressing storyline, which I won't tell you and won't spoil for the listeners, but it's been confirmed that he's actually a descendant of Caecilius, and the awful things that happened to Frobisher are the timeline correcting itself to make up for Caecilius being saved when he shouldn't have been.
That is dark. What do you think of Fires of Pompeii, actually?
I can't quite remember it.
That's pretty good.
I don't really like that episode.
Giant magma Roman soldiers.
Oh, see, the fact that I can't remember it is the sign for me that it isn't very good.
There is one thing I remember.
The ending's great.
I like how they address... Because up until this point, he's just had it as a throwaway line, oh yeah, Universal Translator, the TARDIS does that for you. But when she tries to speak, I think Latin is it to them? They're all speaking Latin, and when she tries to speak Latin, she knows it just comes out as gibberish. So if you
It comes out as Celtic.
Celtic.
Because she's from Chiswick, which probably people at 2000 AD or whatever, 2000 BC in Chiswick would have been speaking like Welsh or Celtic or something.
But yeah, I think that's the worst episode of season 4 in my opinion. Fires upon, because it's just so unremarkable.
No, there has to have been a worse Donna episode than that.
Okay, well,
We'll keep going.
Fires of Pompeii was pretty good. I mean,
Planet
the
of the
ending.
Ood.
Planet of the Ood's a great episode.
It's a real good episode.
I love that episode.
Jeez, I can't remember that episode at all.
It's the Ood, and then it turns out that the reason they're servants is because the company that sells them lobotomizes them.
Yeah, the brains in the hand.
They have a hindbrain that they carry in their hands. And
Is that the ball?
yeah, the company
No, they cut the brain off. And
They
put the ball in
it turns out that the hindbrain is like what causes emotion and willpower, so they cut that off and replace it with a translator orb so the Ood can't disobey orders or rebel. And then it turns out that there's a giant brain that's the leader of the Ood people. It's like their
Like the episode of Futurama with the giant brains.
it's their patriarch is a giant, or matriarch, or both, is a giant brain that gets them to rebel and kill all of the humans, and then turn the leader of the humans into an Ood.
Okay, the one.
I really want to see
It's
this.
a really good
It's
episode.
so fucking weird.
The Ood kill people by jumping on them and like all we ever see is them like waving their tentacles in their face. But I always imagine it's sort of like a Davy Jones thing where like the tentacles just like invade their nose and mouth and like suffocate them.
There's a thing in Injustice actually where where Plastic Man brings the Flash down an alleyway and he does that to him with his hand.
Ew.
Where all his fingers just start entering all the orifices on the Flash's face to smother him. He knocks him unconscious and steals his costume to pretend to be Barry Allen.
That's incredibly disturbing.
Yeah, they make the point that if Plastic Man wasn't weak to ice breath, he would be able to kill everybody on the Justice League, no problem. Except Martian Manhunter. Well, no, even Martian Manhunter you probably beat.
Who can phase through everything?
So,
Yeah, I think it would be a fight that just doesn't end.
There's no way to beat Plastic Man apart from ice.
No.
Sorry, I digress.
Anyway,
Two of my favorite episodes of the season. The Sontaran...
Sontaran Stratagen and
Poison
the Poison
Guy.
Guy. Poison Guy. I love the Sontarans, man.
I forgot how small they were, because I was a child when I watched them. I'm like, oh, they're not that small. They're fucking tiny.
Yeah, but
They're like 4.5 feet tall.
is the temperature significant?
Can we admit it's bullshit how she gets past the Sontaran
By
lock
just-
by
yeah,
doing the Spock thing?
Yeah, she's pretending to have 3 fingers.
Also, you remember how last week I said this will be the episode where we pitch how we'd kill the Doctor? Mm-hmm. Just to mention, this was how I planned to do it. I would sneak on in a red tracksuit, pretend I'm one of your man, the Steve Jobsy guy's guy.
Luke Radigan.
Luke Bradigan. Brick him in the back of the head. And because the Sontarians believe combat is the best, I would join them because I took out their other guy. That was my plan to take them out. Sorry, there we go. Digress. How good of an episode is those 2 Sontarian episodes?
Sontaran.
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 Santa. Yeah.
Alright.
Well,
Don't they come back in Sarah Jane Adventures?
they did, and it was a very good episode. It's the one survivor of those Sontarans, and his name is Skog.
Doesn't he eventually join with the Sherlock Lizard Lady?
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Which is weird, but I can't.
He's like their nurse or something.
And he ends up killing her by tackling her into a portal into another dimension.
Alright, 1 second. I knocked off the phone, so I'll see what episodes are up next.
After Poison Sky, it's the planet with the Hath. It's the Doctor's daughter.
Yeah, Doctor's daughter.
Ah,
Which, this is going to sound weird, but you know the daughter in that?
yeah.
David Tennant married her.
David Tennant married her.
And she's the daughter of, what's his face?
Stephen Moffat.
The 5th Doctor.
Oh, wait, sorry, yeah, you're right.
She's the 5th Doctor's daughter, and she married the Doctor and had the Doctor's daughter, and played the Doctor's daughter.
Kind of weird.
Kind of weird.
So the Doctor's daughter played the
we could
Doctor's
be in trouble
daughter.
here. We haven't actually turned into a bad episode yet.
Yeah, we're a bad
These are
episode.
great.
These are real good.
Come on, man, you have to give us one good bad one.
The Unicorn and the Wasp.
That's a bad one.
I really like that
It
episode.
gets too
God
meta
damn
for my
it.
liking. He's like, oh, we're doing a murder mystery with Agatha Christie. There's nothing weird about that. Oh.
But there's even a bit where Martha points out that would be like meeting Charles Dickens at Christmas and there's
Yeah.
ghosts, and they did that.
Alright, Sons of the Library and Force of the Dead.
Great episode.
Two great episodes.
Great episodes.
Although, you know, they didn't plan to bring River Song back after that.
I don't know if they did, but
They definitely did.
They didn't, like.
I mean,
I love the idea of a character running parallel to the Doctor, just in the opposite way. But
No, I think they intended they wouldn't have given her that premise if they weren't going to bring her back.
I don't like. I think that's the only time I've ever liked River Song. I really don't like her.
Same.
Yeah.
There's one other time, and it's a Matt Smith episode. It's one of the last ones where he's like, "Oh yeah, they spent one more night together, but the nights on this planet are 200 years."
That's a Capaldi episode.
Is it Capaldi? I can swear that's Matt Smith.
Yeah, it's a Capaldi episode.
Huh. All right, Midnight.
It's so good.
It's a Cabin Fever episode. It's
God
amazing.
damn it, guys! I'm waiting for the bad ones, but Midnight is great.
Midnight is a standout.
And Rose appears on the television screen behind him.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets better.
And we never find out what the monster was.
Also, in the Centaurian episode, she appears on one of the screens for a split second as well.
Yeah, I remember.
All right.
Also, isn't it a cool thematic thing that the whole thing about the Midnight Monster is that it steals people's voices and names? Like people only ever refer to it as Sky because it's possessing Sky.
Yeah.
So it steals voices and names, and then at the end, it's killed by the quiet woman whose name is never learned.
Okay.
It's like a thematic thing.
Nice.
Once again, we should hit some bad episodes, but Turn Left is a fucking great episode.
God, the bit with the concentration camp and the Italian family are being taken away and Bernard's
Or when she's like, "Oh yeah, we just want a holiday for the weekend,"
Guys,
and they look out and the ship just hits London.
I feel like for all the Russell T Davies era, we just put a big tick in the box.
Yeah,
And just
we're almost out of the woods anyway. So
almost out of the incredible, legendary.
Oh, here we go. Stolen Earth, Journey's End, and The Next Doctor. My favorite 3 episodes.
Well, The Next Doctor.
Sorry, not The Next Doctor.
Actually, The Next Doctor is one of those episodes that I wouldn't count as being very good.
No, it's only great.
It's like the Jackson Lake one, where it's the guy.
I know, but
it's fine.
I really enjoyed the Jackson Lake character.
Yeah, he is a great character.
But yeah, sorry. Stolen Earth and Journey's End.
Oh man, it's
the Avengers 4 years before the Avengers.
It is. It's the Sarah Jane
Torchwood.
Adventures. It's Torchwood. It's Doctor Who. It's crossing over. It's
We get Rose back.
all I can do is
when Rose and the Doctor run at each other for the first time in
and the Dalek just shoots him in the chest. Oh man,
fucking amazing.
this isn't commentary. We're just talking. Oh man, that was so great.
Yeah, for the last 40 minutes, just been like, oh, what a great
I don't
episode.
I don't know why we thought we could have a Doctor Who podcast that wouldn't be 100% nostalgia.
That's why I think we should have done reasons we could kill the Doctor.
Because it's shoot him twice in the face or
Or
drown
break
him.
in the back
I'm
of the
literally going to
head.
go home and watch half of these episodes.
I know. It's all on Netflix, man. It's
Yeah.
all on
That's why I'm
Netflix.
reading it off here, Netflix. But
Surprise! This has been a Netflix-sponsored episode the entire time.
we kind of fucked him over with the Iron Fist episode, so we owed him one. How great is it to see all 12 of those characters in the TARDIS piling it together?
There's a bit. Have you ever noticed? There's a bit where Freema Agyeman, Martha's actress, she smiles at the camera when she's at the TARDIS console. She goes, she totally wasn't meant to do that.
Okay, one sec. Move on to season 5. This is where things get interesting because it's either real good or real bad in the season. The 11th hour.
Love it.
You forgot to do the specials.
They only list some of the specials here.
Okay, so I suppose I know them.
The Regeneration special.
Planet of the Dead,
What's Planet of the Dead again? Is that the one?
Sand Planet,
Oh,
Red
Sand,
Bus.
yeah.
I don't like that episode.
I kind of do, but I like those kind of cabin fever episodes where they're trapped in a small area and the Doctor's going to think his way out.
Right, I thought that episode. Lady Christina D'Souza is a bad companion.
Yeah.
What about Titanic episode?
We did that one already. We basically just went, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the little red guy again?
Banacafalata.
Banacavallata.
Strong. Banacafalata. Cyborg.
Banacavallata, see you.
And then he EMPs himself. And
Wait, don't they make a point that they're racist to cyborgs in this universe?
They do. No, they only make the point that they're racist to cyborgs in, the planet Stowe.
Yeah.
Well,
It's really weird that is set in the present day, and the main characters are aliens who are just human and have human names and look human and dress human and talk English. Talk human.
I feel
Speak English.
we skipped over pretty much the entire Rose Tennant season, didn't we?
We skipped along it. We didn't.
I mean,
We didn't talk about their last episode, actually. I want to go back to that.
We didn't talk about the girl in the fireplace.
Oh man, we missed
Holy
so
crap.
much.
Yeah, that was before I put up the Netflix list.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen all of Girl in the Fireplace, and it's one of the only episodes I haven't finished.
Boy.
I've seen when he comes out of the fireplace on the horse, and he's like, your man is like, oh yeah, I'm a such and such master, and then he's like, oh really? Well, I'm a Lord of Time, so I kind of outrank you.
Yeah.
There's a bit where he shows up at the Clockwork Robot's interrogation room, completely drunk, wearing a John Lennon sunglasses and a tie around his head, talking about how he's invented the banana daiquiri.
That sounds like a Moffat thing, but that does also sound hilarious.
And he destroys one of the clockwork robots by pouring champagne over its head.
Like, they're just there, like, frozen for a while, and the clockwork robot looks up at them, like, a slot opens in his finger, all the wine pours out, and then the doctor goes, oh, that's pretty clever. And then he just sprints out of the place.
Oh, they've got those weird, like, clockwork wrist blades, like the spinny blades that come out of their hands.
The practical effects on the clockwork robot head.
Well, it was
blows
beautiful.
I watched that
It's
episode
actually
last
beautiful,
week. It's so cool.
It's gorgeous, like
Okay.
the glass and the copper and the gold.
Yeah.
Tennant's regeneration episode.
Mwah.
What's that? Is that the Sound of Drums or
No,
what's
the
called?
Tennant's regeneration episode
Journey's
is.
End? No,
I mean, when he turns into.
when he goes to Matt Smith.
That episode is called The End of Time.
End of Time. There we go.
Oh, but can we talk about Doomsday for a second? Because Doomsday was real good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
My favourite thing about that episode is the Cybermen and the Daleks sassing each other. Just bitchy, it's like bitch talking each other. Just
What is it? 5,000 Cybermen, you don't bat an eyelid.
5 million Cybermen.
5 million Cybermen, you don't bat an eyelid, but one doctor and you're shaking in your boots.
Daleks have no concept of elegance. This is obvious. Bitch.
You are superior in only one way.
You are superior in only one respect. What is that? You are better at dying. At which point he went, wow, that sounded way better in my head.
You know, guys, I think they fucked the Cybermen after that Doomsday episode. Like, I don't think they ever.
It was the last time they were intimidating.
Yeah.
No, but like the age of Cyber, or whatever the fuck it was, or Age of Steel.
Age of Steel.
Dawn of the Rise
I
of the
love
Time
that
of the
two-parter.
Age of Steel is a fantastic two-parter.
It's great.
Is that the one where they're on the Ultimate Earth?
It's the bit where they start.
Yeah, it's alternate.
yeah.
And we
It's-
got Mickey and Ricky.
And Pete's dad. Pete is still alive. Rose's dad. And there's a bit where they start converting homeless people into Cybermen, and the what's his face just starts listening to When the Lion Sleeps Tonight, so he can't hear them.
Yeah, and like they have like the Bluetooth earpieces in their head,
And
which
the
is, a
mic
weird,
control.
which is a weird like metaphor
Yeah.
for technology, like Black Mirror kind of
Yeah.
shit. But yeah, no, that's it. Like, cause you're right, they're intimidating and they're getting cyberified and stuff like that, and you're like, what?
And
happens?
you get that one shot of just like the laser and the spinning razor blade and the descending helmet, and that's all you see of what's going on inside that chamber.
Also, one of the weird things from that episode, but you know how they have like those weird kind of ghost things that are like moving around?
Yeah, the ghosts.
And they're like, they've been integrated into society, and they turn on the TV and EastEnder is just floating through the bar.
Are you serious?
Yeah, basically,
That's amazing.
Where they bring in this like a long dead cast member has come back as a ghost.
But, like,
And Peggy's freaking
wait,
out.
oh, I just realised in the Power of Three, the Matt Smith episode, they completely reused that concept
Yeah,
of the
with
invasion
the cubes.
via integration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
good.
I really like
never
that episode.
realised
It kind of
that.
cheapens it.
I never realised that. Yeah,
They did it before.
Power of Three was a good episode, but they even have that bit where they show like the cubes on TV.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same how all those TV shows popped up around the ghosts.
Yeah.
Alright, will we get to the final Tenet episode?
Yeah, okay. Oh, can we talk about Waters of Mars real quick? Just real quick.
What's Waters of Mars?
Waters of Mars is actually, well, it's in my top
never
5.
seen that, so
Waters of
I've
Mars
seen
is in my top 5 because it's done really subtly, but it's basically the Doctor goes mad with power and starts like disregarding the laws of time, and they do this really subtle thing where he starts talking like the Master.
Oh, really?
John Sims' Master. Like, there's this one throwaway line where the 10th Doctor in Waters of Mars, he makes a joke and no one laughs, and he goes, funny? No? A little bit? And that is, word for word, a quote from John Sims' Master from The Sound of Drums.
Oh, yeah, because like all those politicians were like laughing at his jokes.
Yeah, he goes, funny? No? A little bit? And there's a bit where the Master's catchphrase has always been, I am the Master and you will obey me. And there's a bit where the Doctor goes fully insane, starts declaring himself like the Time Lord Victorious, and he says, yeah, there used to be people who like enforce the laws of time, but they're all dead, it's just me. And he says, the laws of time are mine and they will obey me. Well, he has like crazy eyes. It's my favourite episode because it's never pointed out. It's really subtly done, but he becomes the Master for an episode.
Fuck, that's good. Back to the Master in Tennant's final episode. I'm trying to hurry you up because we've gone an hour and we haven't hit Matt Smith or Capaldi yet.
I don't want to.
We'll fly through.
We're going to burn through the two of them.
I feel. Well, burn through Capaldi. Matt Smith, there's
I love Matt Smith.
there's
I'm
so
a
much to
huge
talk
Matt
about. Not all of it good.
Smith. Not all good, not all bad. There's a
Yeah.
great mix of both. But yeah, the drum, the ring of drums, and it's the Time Lord's. Is it their plan to come back?
It's the Time Lord Heartbeat.
Yeah, it's the Time Lord Heartbeat.
Which is, by the way, since the beginning of the show, it was intended for the Doctor to have that double heartbeat, which is what they've always centered the theme song around. The theme song has always had the... That's always been the beat of the show. Beat of the theme song.
I never noticed that. They bring back...
Timothy Dalton as Rassilon, which I thought was great casting.
Oh, that's pretty sweet, actually.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Rassilon was
Got those massive collars.
They do, don't they? Yeah.
Rassilon was this character from the original series, and interestingly, he very rarely appeared on screen because he was supposed to be dead. Like, occasionally his body showed up, or his ghost showed up as
I want to see if he
floating
forces
face.
the Doctor to regenerate as a punishment. I remember that much.
But he was always dead, and they made this point out they had resurrected Rassilon because he was the founder of Time Lord Society. They resurrected him to lead them during the Time War, and it was Timothy Dalton.
Wait. Does Gallifrey exist now?
Yeah, it does, but it's in a pocket dimension.
It's in a painting.
I'm real lost to where Gallifrey is.
It's a weird thing in the 50th anniversary where they go, there's two names for the painting, No More and Gallifrey Falls, but it's like,
Gallifrey Falls no more.
You're like, Jesus, Moffat.
Yeah.
Jesus.
God damn it.
They had Tom Baker, though. That was nice.
That was really good.
That was nice.
Okay, the 11th hour. What do we think of that?
It's pretty good.
I really like the 11th hour.
I like the giant floating eye monsters. I thought it was a little cheap that Amy turned out to be a kissogram. I mean, it was nice.
I like that joke.
It was a joke, exactly. It kind of would have been nice if she turned out to be a police officer.
See, I didn't know how I felt about Matt Smith, but the minute he gets up on that roof and he just starts talking to that thing, he's like, "All right, look me up. I'm the Doctor. Tell me who am I?"
And just runs off.
That's fucking great. Like, you can feel Moffat just kind of nerdgasm as he's like showing the different imagery from that.
Yeah.
All right, the Beast Below. They're on a big London spaceship that's also Britain.
It's a whale, it's like a turtle.
It's a space whale.
Giant space whale.
Called a space whale.
I'm going to say no, that episode doesn't work.
It
works, but it isn't
I
great.
give it about a 6 out of 10. It's a good episode.
It's good until the reveal.
I really like the whole thing about how everyone is the whole voting system. How they're all
Choose to forget.
They consciously choose to allow the space whale to continue to live in agony, and then choose to just forget that they knew that.
All right, the next episode up is both the most ridiculous and my favorite Matt Smith episode.
What is it?
Victory of the Daleks.
Would you care for some tea?
I'm not even going to pretend I didn't like to. I really loved that.
It was
episode.
really
Danny Boy to the Doctor. Danny Boy to the Doctor. We're incoming.
Doctor Danny Boy.
Yeah, when he's flying at the Dalek spaceship with like a bubble shield around his
Everybody stand back. I have the self-destruct sequence for the TARDIS. Do not scan it. It will blow up. It's just a jammy dodger.
Yeah.
Is that episode?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that line.
I do hate the Power Ranger Daleks.
You only ever see them like twice after.
They scrapped that idea
Yeah,
so
they gave
quickly,
up immediately.
like because everyone is going, "This is ridiculous. This is such."
No. Fuck, that's a good episode. It's so stupid, but it's great.
Daleks are back to the standard gold, yeah?
Yeah.
Or, well, not standard gold, because they were...
Copper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
copper. Also,
They've just gone back. They've just gone back to the old design.
Dan, I don't want to go.
don't be surprised if I'm back a third time.
I hope you do. I hope you return one last time. Fuck, that's a good episode.
Like David Tennant.
Yeah. I love when David Tennant came back for the 50th anniversary. Alright, I'm going to skim through these. Time of the Angels, Flesh and Stone.
What's heartbreaking is it's a good episode, but it ruined the Weeping Angels.
It's so fucking stupid.
It showed them move. It made up that whole thing about the image of an angel becoming an angel, which kind of cool, but just doesn't work.
No, not at all. Doesn't the Doctor show a photograph or something like that in Blink, which should become an angel in theory?
In Blink, they have a folder full of pictures of them,
Yeah,
and none
so-
of them become angels.
Yeah. Become like a motion comic book movie, Weeping Angels. Vampires in Venice.
It's dumb, but I did like it.
It's real stupid, but it's real fun.
It's pretty good.
That's going to be a running theme, I think, with the Matt Smith episodes. They're really stupid, but they're kind of fun.
I liked that conversation at the end where it turned out her whole motivation was she just wanted to save her species.
Yeah.
And he kind of
Yeah, but you
gets
have
her to
that an
commit
awful
suicide.
lot where where the Doctor's just like, I'll wipe out a species to protect the humans, I don't mind. Like the plastic thing, he's like, I gave you the choice. For a very first episode in Rose, he's like, I've given you the choice. You can either stay here and we can find a better planet for you,
But
or you die.
Those vampires, they didn't want to destroy Earth. They they needed to destroy one city.
Yeah.
Just Venice.
Just Venice.
And if he had just sacrificed Venice,
He would have
then
saved them all.
He would have saved an entire species, and he chose to let them go extinct.
Oh, this one I really like. Amy's Choice.
I really liked Toby Jones in it.
He's so good. And he's just another version of the Doctor, isn't he?
He's like a weird. He's space pollen that's manifested a part of the Doctor's subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
It's fucking weird setup, but I love it. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's a really good episode.
Alright, I'm going from that to an episode I don't really like, Hungry Earth. And Cold Blood, because it's a two-parter.
Yeah, I was fine.
It's,
I wasn't really
I don't
big,
like those lizard people. I don't find them...
I wasn't big in the
whatsoever.
redesign for the Silurians, but...
And did they come up before?
Oh yeah, they were classic Doctor Who villains.
That's an awful lot of the Moffat stuff are classic characters that I just didn't know about.
The Silurians are like proper classic. They're really old. They used to. There was two species: the Silurians and the Sea Devils, who were both like prehistoric Earth civilizations, and they teamed up in one episode that was inventively called the Silurians and the Sea Devils. I think,
That's a fucking weird name. Okay, I'm gonna come to the one Doctor Who episode that has ever made me cry. Vincent and the Doctor. And it's made me cry live in art class.
people only like that episode because of the ending.
Yeah.
When he's in the art.
It's not a great episode. That fucking ending.
Yeah, when he's in the art room.
He brings Vincent Van Gogh to see his paintings.
And hear Bill Nye talk about how great he
That
is.
is Bill Nye, isn't it? The science guy.
Yeah, Bill Nye, the science guy.
Guy.
No, Bill Nye is Davy Jones.
Ah. Oh, shit. Alright, fair enough.
He's the dad in Time.
Okay, another episode that I really fucking love. The Lodger. James
It's
Corden
fun. It's a fun
and
episode.
Matt Smith just living together is the best. He like plays soccer and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just Matt Smith having a fun
It's
time.
it's a really light episode because the next two are dark enough episodes. The Pandorica opens.
Which was fine.
I really love the speech he makes on Stonehenge. He's
I
like,
didn't.
Of all the beasts and all the ones who've tried to kill me, I'm still here. So do yourself a favor and let the next guy go first.
Yeah. They gave Matt Smith way too many speeches.
I like the speech. I like the campy speeches though.
Yeah.
All right, The Big Bang.
No. Didn't like that episode.
I kind of like it, but I find it real jarring because an awful lot of they make a point in this, and I'm going to bring this up with you now. In the one before that, in the Pandorica opens, he names off a load of events that happened in Doctor Who that Amy doesn't know about. Mm-hmm. That apparently none of those happened in her timeline.
Like the next Doctor, that whole thing with the Cyber King.
Yeah.
That was never recorded in history because the Cyber King fell through that portal in the Time Vortex.
Yeah,
That's how
They're like, what about when the Daleks just stole the planet? She's like, no, don't remember that. And the next episode, the planet is reset based off of her mind. So because she doesn't remember any of that,
the Stolen Earth never happened.
none of that happened, apparently. Nobody on Earth knows any of that happened.
Or she just didn't notice all of it happened.
Yeah, she's like,
She just slept through. She slept through that. It was a very
just like Donna. She's like, "Jeez, did I slip through that?"
yeah, like they had the thing that Donna was scuba diving when the Daleks and Cybermen invaded.
Alright, A Christmas Carol? It's a stupid episode.
No,
it's kind of
I didn't
fun.
like it. Like Bob or not Bob Geldof, but Gambon.
Yeah.
Michael Gambon, great actor, but I just didn't like that episode.
I enjoy the idea that he's got one day to be with her, and when he
Cloud
chooses
Sharks.
that. Cloud Sharks are fucking stupid.
Cloud Sharks.
Alright, Season 6. Here we go. Blow through these.
Yeah, Dan isn't coming back. By the way, you can
Yeah, I
stop
missed it.
listening now.
Yeah, you can give up and go home. The episode that is real stupid but it affected me, The Impossible Astronaut. When you see
That
him
is a good episode.
when he is shot on the beach and then shot again and they burned the body, I genuinely thought because he was out of regenerations, this might actually be his final death. And I was okay with that. That if everything we do from now on, we know where the Doctor dies. So even though we know he's not going to die in his adventures, we know his death. I really like that concept, which they butcher later on.
Yeah, they did. The Silents are fantastic villains.
Fuck, they're good. Day of the Moon is even better. It's the follow-up episode to that with them.
The Silents were the first good original villain they had in a long time.
Yeah, I love the thing at the end where he taps into the rocket taking off, the moon landing.
You should kill us all on sight.
You kill us all, you can't just kill us all on sight. He's like, yeah, they're gonna remember that, and they're gonna keep remembering that, and they're not even gonna know they're remembering that. I'm like, fuck,
That is a really weird idea, though. So it's saying that there's probably been some 10-year-olds who like just jumped to silence and beat it to death with their skateboards and then just forgot about it.
Yeah, we probably could have killed some silence, and we don't even know about it. Yeah.
I know I have. Because I walked into school one day and there was blood all over my knuckles and I don't remember killing anyone.
I've just all these like marks of marker up and down my arm. I've been keeping count for some reason.
Oh no, that was me. You passed out on the couch.
Ah, fair enough. Got me again. Alright, Curse of the Black Dot. Good. It's one of these
Oh,
things.
it's such a dumb episode, but I love it so much.
Yes, I love a lot of Moffat episodes until we get the reveal.
Oh yeah, when it turns out that it's a medical AI.
Ugh. Okay, one I really like, The Doctor's Wife, where the TARDIS gets a consciousness.
That is a great episode.
That is, it gets a physical body and it like kisses the Doctor.
That's a scary episode.
It's a spooky episode.
It has the Ood with the green eyes.
Yeah.
And it freaks me out. That episode is scary.
The Rebel Flesh.
It's a good episode. That's the one with the gangers. The weird white clone monsters.
The almost people.
Yeah, the gangers.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
All right. I didn't like it that much, but that's personal choice. Okay, this is one I really like, even though it's super dumb. A Good Man Goes
That
to
episode
War.
is fan fiction. A Good Man Goes to War is fan fiction.
It is fan fiction.
And I absolutely hate that Sontaran character.
Yeah, there's a line from that, and it's like, the word doctor, we get that from, right? You get it from you. Fun fact, Stephen Moffat as a child wrote that in as a fan theory letter to the Doctor Who magazine and got it published. And now 20, 30 years later, because he's running the show, he was able to put his own theory in there.
And they also made it that on some planets the word doctor means warrior, which almost felt like foreshadowing the War Doctor.
It does, doesn't it? But let's be honest, they're not planning that far ahead.
God, no. They didn't even intend to have the War Doctor until Christopher Eccleston told them to go fuck themselves.
Another episode that's super dumb, but I love it. Let's Kill Hitler.
I actually like that one.
Even the name of that, Let's Kill Hitler, is just great.
Rory, put Hitler in the cupboard.
He takes Hitler.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a fun episode. I like that one.
What do you think of Amy Pond and Rory, actually?
I think Amy's alright on her own, but when she's with Rory, they become a really good companion.
I didn't like the guy who played Rory the first time around, but when I rewatch it, I really enjoy him.
The two of them work really well together.
Have you watched Legends of Tomorrow, actually?
Yes, I've watched Legends of Tomorrow.
In season 2, Rip Hunter gets brainwashed and goes evil for a little bit.
And becomes a film director.
Yeah, and he's working with George Lucas, but he just becomes he becomes the master in that, and it's amazing. Like, he is straight up just the master. He's like, I control all of time and space. Nah, get out of here. This is my ship. I control all of this. He's pretty badass. He's a good actor.
He is a good actor.
Another episode that I think you mentioned this might have made you cry at one stage, Night Terrors.
So there's Night Terrors on its own is a pretty good episode. You've got your man from Ashes to Ashes playing the dad. You got a pretty good child actor playing the son. All he ever does is gasp and say, Dad! But he does his job. He does fine.
Yeah.
You got a bit of Matt Smith being Matt Smith.
But even Matt around the place.
You got some really disturbing imagery with like the guy becoming a wooden puppet, and that's really fucking freaky. You got the elevator that never stops falling. You got the old woman who gets eaten by the trash. You got the man who sinks into his carpet while his bulldog
See, the only
watches.
thing is,
It's a good episode, but
Go on,
it's only good. It's only good until there's this one bit at the end where it turns out the little boy is a species of alien that injects themselves into family lives without the parents noticing.
Yeah.
And they realise that when the dad points out that his wife is infertile.
Yeah, and the child isn't any of the family pictures.
Yeah, they wanted... No, she isn't pregnant in any of the family pictures.
Sorry.
He goes, here she's not pregnant, and 1 month later here's George as a baby. And there's a bit where they're in the dollhouse, the son is being attacked by the peg dolls, he's lost control of the world he's created, and the guy's saying, but what can I do? He's not my son, he's an alien. And the doctor says, you've raised him for 10 years, it's your choice whether he's your son or not. And then he yells, Dad! And he, without a moment of hesitation, the dad runs past the peg dolls, shoves them out of the way, hugs his son, and says, I am your dad and you're my son, and nothing will ever change that. And every time I watch that episode, that bit makes me cry.
It's like the scene in Man of Steel where young Clark is talking to Pa Kent. And now Man of Steel and Pa Kent are complete shit. They are the worst. But he's got that moment, and he's like, you're an alien, you're meant for better things than football. And he's like, but am I not your son? He's like, of course you're my son. And they hug and embrace. Fucking love that emotional beat in anything, especially in that episode of Who.
But that's the annoying thing. I don't cry every time I watch... I don't cry every time I watch the ending of Logan. I don't cry every time I watch the ending of The Green Mile. But for some reason, it's that bit in that episode, par episode. It's a par episode. It is a par episode.
Yeah.
It is nominal. But every single time I see that scene, I start crying.
The worst thing about that episode is it feels like Stephen Moffat trying to do the classic Who horror. Like you got creepy house, creepy alien.
The peg dolls.
It should be scary. It's not that scary.
It's pretty scary.
It's spooky, but it feels like he's trying too hard.
It's some spooky, scary skeletons.
Spooky, scary skeletons and
shivers
down your
spine.
Okay,
but that bit just makes me cry every time.
Actually, speaking of an emotional beat, The Girl Who Waited.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's an okay episode.
It's a pretty good episode.
But that reveal at the very end where she's willing to let herself just be erased from time so Amy can be happy.
I know that bit when she's running towards the TARDIS door and Matt Smith slams it in her face and then stays by the door listening to her pound on it.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that is a really good scene.
Okay, the God Complex.
It was... I liked it because it had some good one-off characters.
Yeah.
And the Minotaur, who was related to the Minos from the Horns of Minos, the classic Who episode.
Classic Who episode.
The Minotaur was a pretty good villain. It was pretty good.
James Gordon's back, closing time. I really like this.
Closing time.
I like this because you know when Matt Smith was dying and regenerating?
Yeah.
And he went around to everyone.
Yeah.
And he just kind of saved them and helped them once. It felt like that.
Yeah.
It felt like
You mean David Tennant?
David Tennant, sorry. It felt like David Tennant pulling Sarah Jane's son out of the road before a car hits, actually, which is real funny. Could you imagine that between seasons of Sarah Jane's? Like, hey, where's Luke gone? Volkswagen Beetle just took him out of it.
That would have been depressing. Especially how quickly afterwards Sarah Jane died of cancer.
Yeah, that is sad.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, closing time is great because it feels like him just wrapping up. I honestly think season 6 should have been the end of the Doctor. I think he should have died at the very end of the beach and accepted it. Have a different Time Lord take over, or have a clone of the Doctor, something cheap like that. Because you know they're not above doing that.
No, they're definitely not.
Alright, Wedding of River Song.
It's
Okay.
fine.
I mean, compare that to Journey's End, or
Doomsday. Or Parting of the Ways. Or The End of Time.
Or The End of Time.
Or any of them.
No, there's nothing, it's nothing close.
All the 10th Doctor and 9th Doctor ones.
Yeah, all those finales really felt powerful. Even the season 5 finale feels powerful.
Which one's that again?
That's the Stonehenge opening thing. They reset the universe. Pandora opens. That's the thing. The Doctor Who season finales don't feel like they've got that kind of oomph anymore.
Yeah.
Alright, Asylum of the Daleks.
Asylum of the Daleks. I like that one. It's pretty good. I mean, I liked Clara before she became a series regular.
Yeah.
That once-off character was pretty good. What? Oswin.
Yeah, Oswin. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
No.
Nah.
I wasn't feeling it.
It's fun.
It's kind of fun.
Okay. Speaking of fun, A Town Called Mercy.
That's a great episode.
It is, isn't it?
That is a great
Cyborg
episode.
cowboy. It's fucking good.
Cyborg cowboy hunting a Nazi war criminal from space.
Whoa! Alright, The Power of Three.
It is cheapened by Daniel pointing out that it's basically a remake of the Ghosts premise, but it was pretty good. I thought it was actually kind of ruined when it just turned out that it was some random alien guy who wanted to give everyone on Earth a heart attack, a random alien AI that wanted to give everyone on Earth a heart attack. And I think the problem with that is, why was there a cube that was making the funky chicken song 24 hours?
I don't bloody know. Do I look like a cube man?
I thought it was a dumb reveal because it's like, why didn't they just instantly give everyone heart attacks? Why have one that plays the funky chicken?
Yeah, why go this convoluted?
Why do most of them do nothing?
Okay, one that almost makes you cry every time. Angels Take Manhattan, and only before that graveyard scene.
It's only the ending. The rest of it's shit.
It's a shit episode apart from that ending, and I think it encapsulates Matt Smith's Doctor really well.
Yeah, it encapsulates Matt Smith's Doctor in that so many of his episodes only have one good scene.
Yeah, but he has the line where when he reads a book, he never reads the last page because he wants the story to go on. Yeah. He's a Doctor who doesn't believe in the end. He doesn't believe in closing the story.
Yeah,
the story always goes on. Alright, The Snowman. Clara again. Reptile Sherlock Holmes. Alright, season 8. Let's get into it. We're almost there. 2 more seasons.
The Wi-Fi episode's pretty good.
Alright, Deep Breath. I can't remember that episode.
Deep Breath is Capaldi's first one, isn't it?
Sorry, we skipped...
You skipped a season.
No, I didn't skip a season. The rest are specials that aren't on Netflix.
You skipped all of Matt Smith and Clara.
Oh shit!
They had a season, man.
It only has the first half of season 7. Then
Really?
1 sec. Oh, I can check here. Give me one more bit though.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the Matt Smith and Clara had...
Yeah, it only goes to Snowman on Netflix.
That's really weird. Because Matt Smith and Clara didn't have specials. They had a season.
Yeah, they had half a season. The second half of season 7 because they split season 7 in half.
No.
Yeah.
Why did they cut all of the end of Matt Smith's season on Netflix? Hang on, Joe.
No idea.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's fucking weird as hell. What can you remember from that? Because I remember they have some good interactions.
They had some good episodes. They had that episode where they go into the journey of the heart of a TARDIS or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good episode. They had the 3 guys who had convinced one of their brothers that he was a cyborg as a joke.
Yeah.
And it turned out he wasn't because he gets impaled and there's blood everywhere. And he's like, oh, what the fuck, guys? I'm not a robot at
You
all.
have the Return of the Cyberman.
Oh, yeah, Nightmare in Silver, which is fine.
Yeah, there's a real Stephen Moffat moment where he's like, oh yeah, they used to have a weakness to washing up liquid in gold. Slaps some gold on the side of the head.
They actually did have a weakness to gold.
Yeah.
There was a classic Who thing. They had an allergy to gold because it caused their chest unit to clog up.
Yeah. Alright,
For some reason.
That's fucking weird. Alright, the 50th anniversary special. Just take all my money, I fangasmed all over it. I enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah, it would have been so great if...
Eccleston.
Oh,
fuck. I would have loved to see Eccleston as the War Doctor.
I think it would have been better if they played the War Doctor and Mike more seriously.
A little bit, but I loved it all the same. The only thing I
And
didn't
also, do you know what would have been great?
What?
If he had actually just killed all the Time Lords at the end.
Yeah.
Instead of bringing back Gallifrey, it
Yeah.
should have just ended with, and they go through with it anyway.
Superman doesn't work if you have 1,001 more Kryptonians out there. Sorry, I was going to say about that. There's a point in that, we mentioned it earlier, what are those creatures from Father's Day?
The Reapers.
How great would it have been if the Reapers had turned up? Because I feel like they should turn up for a moment like that, where the Doctor meets himself in time. There's 3 times, actually. There should be Reapers there.
Yeah.
I think the way they could have gotten around that is if they used the Rose and Doctor from the alternate universe. That's the way I thought they were going to do it. I thought they were just going to go to the alternate universe, meet Rose and the Doctor again. I feel it's kind of contrived how they brought back Billie Piper otherwise.
Yeah, she's just a completely inconsequential figure from his future that he doesn't recognize.
I just like having her there.
Yeah.
Wait, Bad Wolf? What was that? What was that about? We mentioned Bad Wolf? No. Alright, the Trenzalore episode. Maybe my favourite Matt Smith episode, actually.
This is a good one. The bit where he has dementia and the boy comes in and he says, hey, Johnny. He's like, oh, Johnny was my granddad. He died 10 years ago.
He lives on that planet for what, 3,000 years or something like that?
No, it's like 200.
Really? Yeah. I thought it was a lot longer.
Or maybe it is longer. It might be like 500 years. But
It's a fun, good episode. He's just fighting all the classic Who villains. And he's slowly losing his mind.
2 words, though. They kind of bring that episode down a notch or 2.
Wooden Cybermen?
Wooden Cybermen, yes.
Cybermen.
Wooden Cybermen. How do you convert Wooden Cybermen? How does that conversion process work? We shall take away your emotions. We shall take away your pain and replace it with wood somehow.
Also, I love how they build a wooden Cyberman, but for some reason, like, let's give him a flamethrower anyway.
Yep, flamethrower arms. That makes sense.
They reverse, and they have like this beautiful moment where it's like two cowboys about to draw, and he uses the fire thing and just takes his own head off. Yep. Sorry, blows a hole in his chest.
Yep.
It's so stupid, but I love it. I love old man Matt Smith in that as well.
Yeah.
Alright.
Old man Matt Smith.
Oh, good old man Matt Smith.
And then that brings us to the Capaldo.
Oh, buddy.
It sucks how poorly written so many of his episodes are because he's such a good actor. He's so good.
It's easy to shame something, so let's just pick the good ones. Pick those. Let's pick the good ones.
List them. List the episodes.
Alright, 1 sec. My phone's about to die. Audience members at home, tell us what your favourite Capaldi episodes are.
In the comments below, if there are any.
If it's on YouTube as well, so maybe.
Go to YouTube and post your favourite.
Yeah, who's your favourite Doctor Who?
Who's your favorite?
All right,
vote in the comments below.
Deep Breath. I fucking hate that episode immensely.
Fine.
Fuck, that T-Rex is just... Why? Why do you need the T-Rex?
The half-faced man was bizarre, but I did like how they had the call back to the girl in the fireplace.
And I also love when Matt Smith calls up 13 Reasons style and recorded a message for him.
Yeah.
Alright, Into the Dalek. Dalek.
Love that episode because of the bit where the Dalek looks into the Doctor's mind and sees so much hatred for the other Daleks that it goes insane, gets brainwashed, and becomes obsessed with killing the other Daleks. And why has Rusty not come back yet?
I miss Rusty. Alright, Robot of Sherwood.
I hated that episode with all of my heart.
I was on board up until he started fighting with a spoon.
It was such a terrible episode. It was so bad. It was so incredibly bad.
Alright, Listen.
I was so disappointed by Listen because it looked like I was so drawn in.
Yeah,
for
it
the
looked
first,
classic Who horror. I'm like, we're on
for the first 2/3. I was so drawn in, and then it turned out no, there was no monster. It was just what was that thing under the bed sheet then?
Wasn't that like Clara or something like that?
I don't even know. There was a bit where they're in a little boy's.
They're in the doctor's room at one
No, they're in a
stage,
little boy's room, and then there's a monster under a bed sheet that the doctor tells him not to look at, and then the bed sheet falls off, and all we see is its out of focus silhouette, and it looks like a creepy monster. No, there was no monster. That was just some random thing.
Time Heist. I like this one.
I hated Time Heist because
like
that
it.
asshole playing the cyborg. He was such a bad actor.
Okay, yeah, that I can get on that. All right, I'm just gonna burn through these. The Caretaker.
I liked Danny as a character. So.
I honestly don't remember most of that episode.
The monster was a shitty robot called the Skovox Blitzer.
Was it like a spider-like thing?
They kept saying that it had enough firepower. It had enough firepower to kill all life on Earth, and yet Danny was able to front flip over it.
Fuck Danny.
It was a shit villain. Skovox Blitzer. I think the Skovox Blitzer was made up in like a fan competition.
Yeah.
So I'd like, as was the Absorbaloff,
Yeah.
relatedly.
Yeah.
But I'd just like to say the Absorbaloff was at least an original villain.
Yeah.
I'd like to give a call out to whoever invented the Skovox Blitzer, be they a child or an adult, and tell them, you're an idiot and I hope you die.
Give up.
Give up. You're not good at things.
Alright, back to the category of, well, it's fun but stupid. Mummy on the Orient Express.
That's a great episode.
I like it till the reveal.
You got Frank Skinner, he was good. You got Mummy,
really fun.
that was creepy. It was a good episode. Lots of good stuff.
Flatline.
I wanted to like Flatline.
Yeah.
I really wanted to like Flatline.
I was hoping it would be good. It wasn't. Forest of the Night. Fuck, I hate this
There were so
episode.
many bad child actors in that episode.
I hate that episode so damn much.
But Kill the Moon was good.
Dark Water and Death in Heaven. Oh, they do have Day of the Doctor. It's after. Yeah, they have a third.
That's so weird. I thought it wasn't on Netflix.
They have it thrown in. Oh my god! They have, for anybody listening, they have Day of the Doctor and the Time of the Doctor thrown in at the back end of season 8, even though they're the back end of season 7.
That's so weird.
I'm watching both of those tonight.
Yeah, I didn't know they were on Netflix.
Those are two of my
totally
favorite episodes.
I'm totally watching those.
Yeah. All right. Dark Water and Death in Heaven.
Dark Water was great. I didn't like Death in Heaven at all.
It's the reveal, and I was hoping you could explain Missy's plan, because I fucking don't get it.
So Missy's plan is basically take all of the dead people on Earth and using magic cyber rain convert the dead bodies into Cybermen while also making their minds, for some reason,
In the iCloud.
agree to become Cybermen, which has never been necessary before. Everyone else has just been fucking Cybermen.
But she's also pulling them from time and space.
Somehow.
Because Into the Dalek, we see that. Did I say it right this time?
Yeah, in Into the Dalek, there's a soldier from the future who dies and ends up in Missy's heaven for some reason, even though she's only supposed to be making Cybermen out of the people at the graveyards on Earth. And the
episode.
the half-faced man from it makes so little sense. The half-faced man from Deep Breath, who is a clockwork robot, is for some reason taken into Missy's heaven, despite the fact that he's a fucking robot.
How come Jack Harkness doesn't know about this? He's died like 20 times. You think he would have like blinked and saw it at one stage?
Yeah, why does he never show up in Missy's heaven?
Yeah, how come not Rose Tyler, she's an alternate dimension. Why not name a character who's dead? Why not Sarah Jane Smith? I know the real life actor.
Amy.
Why not Amy and Rory? I mentioned these two earlier. Why not Amy
the
and Rory?
Brigadier does become a cyborg.
Brigadier does.
I mean, a Cyberman.
He's a good Cyberman, though.
Danny becomes a Cyberman. Oh, I hate it so much. That whole thing with love isn't an emotion. Love is a promise. No, love is an emotion.
It's a chemical reaction in the brain that tells us who and who not to mate with.
That whole bullshit. Danny should have just killed her. Danny should have gone, I am not Danny, I am Cyberman. I'm just like Superman in Injustice. Hand through the stomach.
Alright, they don't have the rest of the episodes there, so... Wait, do they? They might have season 9, actually. But, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Fucking stupid, I love it.
I hated it. I hated Death in Heaven. Death in Heaven was such a bad episode.
Oh, they do have season 9, okay.
Missy's good though, I like Missy.
Alright, back to the category of Damn, that's stupid, but I love it. Last Christmas, where Santa turns up, played by the guy from Hot Fuzz.
Nick Frost played Santa in an episode with hand crabs that caused hallucination dreams, like that weird flower in Justice League.
No, the Black
I
Mercy.
didn't like that episode.
You guys never notice how this is an awful lot like Alien? You have a movie called Alien? No other species don't like you. Like, oh, congratulations.
That was a good line, actually.
Congratulations, Stephen Moffat. You hung the lampshade so you could rip off Ridley Scott as much as you want now.
Yep.
Alright, my phone's off 4%, so I gotta burn through these.
Still a bad episode, though.
That's the only Season 9 episode they have on Netflix. Do you remember any more Season 9?
God, I don't even think I do. It was
Just the one where the moon is a big egg.
Kill the Moon. That came after the Weird Forest episode.
Did it? Right.
Kill the Moon was a good episode. I like that one.
There's the one with Davros. I really like this one.
That is a good episode because it had some good stuff. I like the bit where Davros opens his eyes, even though it didn't really make sense.
I like the reveal that the Dalek, like every other being, has to age and its cells do degrade, but it's created to be immortal. So it's just like creatures in the sewers. They're like ooze,
eyes and tentacles.
Yeah, they're living sewers, and it's disgusting.
The Dalek word for sewer is the same word for graveyard.
That's fucking amazing. I really like Missy in that episode.
Hey, do you know what we should... It's weird that we've never heard the Dalek language.
Yeah.
Because they have their own translation, so they can just speak in whatever language.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be cool if we heard Dalek speaking in their native language to each other?
I like to imagine it's just beeps and boops.
I'd like to imagine it's just...
What did he say? Oh, God.
I like to imagine it's just German. They are space Nazis.
They are space
and there's
Nazis.
There's even a bit in the... What's it called? In Journey's End, where we see Daleks in Germany going like, "Halt! Exterminieren! Exterminieren!" And it's just like,
It's so stupid, I love it.
We get it, they're Nazis.
I never picked up on that as a child, but that's amazing.
There's a bit where she's in the place in Germany
Yeah, they're going to activate the nuke.
to use the Austragen key, and 3 Daleks just fly overhead while speaking.
Speaking of that, I love...
Sind Sie Daleks?
I love how the Doctor has to talk her down from doing that.
Yeah.
That's an amazing conversation. There's a lot of stuff we skimmed over, but damn, that's a great scene.
Yeah.
Alright, the question is, which are the better space Nazis? Because I got to bring us to Star Wars for at least 5 minutes. The Empire or the Dalek?
The Empire are actually a lot more Soviet than they are Nazis. The First Order are full-on Nazis.
Oh yeah, they're straight up Nazis.
The Empire I've always felt was more Soviet. The grey uniforms, the utilitarianism.
The leader who's kind of erratic and all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
And his right hand is a brutal enforcer. That's that's not so much Stalin and Trotsky as it is Lenin and Trotsky.
I feel like it's Lenin and Trotsky.
Well, okay, I suppose
Stalin.
if you're using the parallels, I'd say Vader is Trotsky, but the Emperor is Stalin. It's just that Stalin and Trotsky never actually worked together.
One is a man of steel, one is a man with robot parts.
Well, no, because Stalin is, the erratic, power-hungry dictator, and Trotsky, after Lenin took power, Trotsky was the one who destroyed all of his enemies.
Yeah.
Alright,
we're going to come back to Star Wars in a second. But overall,
we're not going back to
for
Star
like
Wars.
2 seconds.
We're going back to Star Wars next week.
Alright, fair enough. What did you think of the Moffat stuff?
I don't like Moffat's writing.
I think it's good and slowly goes downhill.
Do you know what the worst part is? Back when RTD was the head writer, Moffat had some of the best episodes.
Yeah, it's absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
A villain who cannot write women.
No, he cannot. You know what? All the same, I do like Amy. I think she might be my favourite companion, but that's only because it's Amy and Rory.
Yeah.
As a team, they're amazing.
Neither of them work particularly well on their own, but they're both brilliant together.
The Rory stuff with the Doctor is just some of the funniest Who stuff there is.
Yeah. I really loved Rory going from the meek side character to the action hero badass.
Yeah, Rory the Roman.
Yeah.
He's badass. Alright, overall, from what we've mentioned, what is your favourite Who episode? Let's rattle off a few questions because we're running on time here.
It's either Sound of Drums or Dalek or Blink.
It's either Time of the Doctor or... What's the end of Season 4? Journey's End?
Journey's End.
Journey's End.
No, wait, that's end of Season 3. End of Season 4 is the Donna... No, shit, you're right. It is Journey's End. Yeah, it is Journey's End, sorry.
Journey's End.
I always get those mixed up.
I think Journey's End is my favourite episode. If you combine those 2 episodes into one, that's my favourite episode.
End of Season 3 is Last of the Time Lords.
That's Last of the Time Lords. Yeah. That's a bit. Alright, What is the worst 2 episode?
It's got to be one of the Capaldi ones.
It is. I kind of want to say it's the moon one.
I kind of like to kill
The moon's a big egg, or else it's the Santo one,
Yeah, it's probably the same.
where it's all a dream and it's all a dream again. Also, the only thing I love from Moffat is how every now and again, when he doesn't know what to do with a character, he'll just kind of fuck him right off.
Yeah.
And I love, what was Clara's boyfriend again?
Danny.
I love how Danny just gets hit by a bus.
And then just so we can become a Cyberman.
Just so he can become a
Yeah, he just drives the fucking car.
Like, the season before that, Rory gets, like, taken out of time.
Yeah, Rory does.
Yeah, like, in the void. Danny's just hit by a bus. It's nothing dramatic. It's nothing like Mickey being killed. It's nothing. It's just boom.
Mickey never dies. Does he? No, Ricky dies.
Ricky dies. Ricky's evil Mickey.
Ricky is alternate universe hard-nosed Mickey, and Mickey has to replace Ricky so he can take care of Ricky's grandmother.
Also, that is the best thing ever. That's the only difference between those two.
The main difference is that Ricky's grandmother is still alive, and Ricky is a hard-nosed badass, and that one letter is what changed with everything.
You know the reason it is though. It's because Mickey in the normal universe was too lazy to go to his grandmother's flat
To fix the carpet. Yeah.
That's why she fucking.
It's actually heartbreaking.
It
though.
really is.
Like when he's talking to his grandmother in the alternate
Yeah.
universe, and she's exactly the same.
Yeah, she's blind and she can't tell the difference.
But he just breaks down crying, apologizing because he was responsible for her
Doesn't
dying.
he stay in that universe and then in Journey's End he comes back to the normal universe?
He comes back in Doomsday, still working for the preachers on the tail of the Cybermen, and he's just become like an action hero badass in the interim.
The only thing I don't like about Doomsday is the season 2 finale, correct?
Yeah.
I don't like the reveal how they set up the Rose Tower was going to die the whole time. And it's like, oh, got ya.
Technically,
Died on one, we're alive on the other.
she
Got 'em.
Well, actually, she was counted in the death
List of the deaths.
List of the deaths.
Captain Jack mentions it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Technically, she
Funny,
died.
funny.
Oh my guys.
Alright, overall, Doctor Who, yay or nay?
Yay?
Yay! Why do we give it out of 5?
That's a big question.
Sorry, your question too. Alright, so now you're all caught up. I hope you've stayed for this. It's just us going yes
You
or no.
really shouldn't have. This was not a great episode.
It's really not, actually.
No, it would have been great if, like, even when Aidan and Dan are here, they usually perk us right up.
Yeah.
But this was basically just talking about why we weren't even going into details. We were just saying episode name.
You know
That
what's
was
weird?
good.
You know what's weird? I'm going to point this out. You and I never do an episode where it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
But some of the funniest stuff is just you and I going back and forth and Rhiannon being quiet. But it's just because she's not here being a sound observer.
Yeah.
We've kind of fallen apart.
Yeah, man, we really need her.
We need our sound observers.
Or we need people who are much funnier than us to do most of the
We
talking.
need them to be carried.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Are we the Amy and Rory of this podcast?
Oh,
Oh.
we're like the Nick Mundy of movie fights.
Oh.
Oh God,
I was always hoping we'd be John Schnepp.
which one's he?
He's the big guy with the beard. Or we could be. You could be Hal Rudnick because I know he's your favorite, and I'll be Andy Signore,
Who's Hal Rudnick?
the guy who also does. We're really gone off topic.
I fucking hate Hal Rudnick. Is he the guy with the weedy little guy with the big nose?
Yeah.
I hate Hal Rudnick so much. Why is it that he can't say? Why is it that he can't say a single sentence without going at the end of it?
Yeah.
He's got this really weird way of talking where he goes really fast and then he goes.
favorite movie fighter actually.
Oh, it's Max Landis.
Yeah, same.
I only watch
apart
the-
from Max Landis. Who's your favorite? Because everybody's.
I guess I have to say Dan Murrell.
Yeah.
But I only watch the episodes that have Max Landis in them.
I really like Kevin Smith because he's only good if you put him on a superhero question. Anything else, he's just like, I don't know. I'd like to see Titanic, but they're all on weed.
Yeah.
All right. On that note,
Well-
Doctor Who, yes or no?
Yeah. Sorry, what's his name again? Nick Schleb or something?
John Schnepp.
John Schnepp.
Yeah, he's the big guy with the beard. He's not on there often.
Oh, sorry. What's the guy I was just saying I hate?
Hal Rudnick.
Hal Rudnick. I'd like Hal Rudnick to be my Lemony Snicket, except where you're joking, I actually fucking hate Hal Rudnick, and I want him to know this. I know he's never going to hear this,
Yeah.
and if he does, I'll be glad for it. Hal Rudnick, I fucking hate you.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think anybody has stayed to the end of the episode.
He certainly won't.
So you know, I think I'm going to reveal it. I've never hated Lemony Snicket. It's always just been a joke. It's all a facade.
I'm not joking. I hate you, Hal Rudnick. I hate you, and I hope bad things happen to you.
And on that note, you're all caught up to watch Doctor Who's season 10 premiere.
And also to hate Hal Rudnick.
Come back next week where we're going to talk Star Wars, how the Force has awakened, how it's the last of the Jedi.
And how Hal Rudnick is a dickhead.
Good night. Have a great time.
Fuck you, Hal Rudnick.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Fuck you, Hal Rudnick.
Last word.